Astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landed the Apollo lunar module on the moon on July the 20th, 1969. On July the 21st, about 7 hours later, Armstrong became the first person to walk on the moon, followed by Aldrin. While Armstrong and Aldrin were on the moon's surface, a third astronaut flew alone in lunar orbit. After spending more than 8 days in space, they returned to Earth on July the 24th. This was the result of a major team effort involving an estimated 300,000 people from the private and public sectors. It was championed 7 years earlier by President John F. Kennedy, who spoke in front of a gathering of nearly 40,000 people at Rice University on September the 12th, 1962. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Our theme for this video is team building. To build a great team, the leader inspires and fosters team commitment, spirit, pride, and trust. She facilitates cooperation and motivates team members to accomplish group goals. To introduce some best practices, I'm going to draw from the book The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni. Great collaboration necessitates a concerted effort. Teams are inherently dysfunctional since they are made up of flawed individuals with egos and self-serving objectives. However, Lencioni explains how to establish exceptional teamwork by building 5 team behaviors. The first behavior is trust. Even when discussing difficult or sensitive topics, trust allows for healthy and open dialogue. Without trust, key topics may be avoided and unresolved, leading to poor decisions. Team members need to be vulnerable. They should make a conscious effort to discuss their vulnerabilities and mistakes. And in so doing, everyone will perceive that their peers' intentions toward them are good, and trust will grow. Strapping human beings to a massive rocket and launching them hundreds of thousands of miles into space requires some trust, don't you think? It existed among the small Apollo 11 crew that took the journey, and between the crew and the massive enterprise that developed the technology and managed the mission. The second team behavior is constructive conflict. Many people consider conflict to be bad, but constructive conflict is necessary for any team to make the best judgments possible. Having a variety of often opposing viewpoints can help the team to make better decisions. A better outcome arises from open debate on the merits and flaws of various ideas. When lacking trust, team members avoid any and all disagreement, and they avoid discussing controversial topics. They keep their worries and thoughts to themselves, preferring not to question one another in order to maintain some false semblance of team cohesion. The 3 Apollo 11 astronauts were not close friends. They had different personalities. Armstrong was emotionally remote. Aldrin could be abrasive. The third member of the Apollo crew, more happy-go-lucky. But they made it work. They interacted constructively under the most extreme of circumstances. The third team behavior is commitment. Because they understand that lack of commitment leads to ambiguity, high-performing teams commit to the decisions they make. Otherwise, a lack of commitment leads to misaligned priorities within an organization's leadership team, and these misalignments become even more pronounced as they trickle down to the employee level. Everyone has an opportunity to speak up and contribute in a great team. This ensures that everyone is heard, which is typically sufficient for team-wide commitment. Most rational people are satisfied when their input is heard and addressed, rather than insisting on their point of view always prevailing. Creating space for all to be heard lays the groundwork for an individual to support team decisions, even when that individual advocated for a different approach. When it came to the audacious goal of a moonshot, President Kennedy sought advice from experts before making his decision. Scientists and the Defense Department, from which NASA arose, they were involved. Prior to a public announcement, researchers, legislators, and others were on the team and on board. The fourth team behavior is peer-to-peer accountability. It's awkward to have to tell a peer that he's underperforming or acting inappropriately. However, without holding each other accountable, everyone feels less responsible, which leads to missed deadlines, substandard results, and bad team performance. The team leader is then tasked with acting as the single source of discipline. Members who are pushed to perform better understand that it is for the greater good. They don't take it personally when there's trust. And you better believe that at NASA, where mediocrity gets people killed, a peer-to-peer culture of accountability thrives. The fifth and final team behavior is the focus on collective results. Individual aspirations must give way to group goals. The team is kept focused by having clearly stated goals that are easy to measure. With common goals, team members are better able to support and assist one another across lines of responsibility. Did you know the name of the third astronaut that orbited the moon in the command module? Many do not. His name was Michael Collins. His role in the mission did not allow for him to land on the moon. He had to orbit the moon in solitude, waiting for Armstrong and Aldrin to return from the lunar surface. His glory would be diminished. History would not treat him nearly as prominently. He had to set any personal desires aside for the good of the mission. So finally, while Lencioni doesn't specifically address diversity and inclusion, I believe it's important to highlight this behavior and how it's linked to the team behaviors of trust, constructive conflict, and commitment. It is so important to foster an inclusive workplace where diversity and individual differences are valued and leveraged in order to better achieve the vision and mission of the organization. Clearly, this won't happen without the foundation we began with, trust. Every member of the team must feel safe in showing up as their authentic self. They should feel that their contributions are considered, valued, and respected. A team can only benefit, moreover, from the constructive conflict that comes from harvesting wide-ranging ideas and perspectives from team members possessing diverse experiences. The Apollo program stands out as a model of integration. Women and people of color were included in NASA, such as the 4 African American female computers or mathematicians featured in the book and film Hidden Figures. NASA, like today's IT giants, respected and put a lot of trust in young people, as indicated by the fact that the average age of the mission control team during the Apollo 11 lunar landing was 24. So, since I'm a coach, I feel obligated to conclude with some questions for your self-reflection and hopefully action. When you reflect on what I've just shared, what was most useful for you? What was your main takeaway? Feel free to place it in the comments section. Next, what could you apply in your professional or personal life this week? And finally, what will you do to hold yourself accountable and ensure that you actually do it? If what I've just shared resonated with you, be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss out on future segments. Thank you.